The question today is what to do when things in life start to lose meaning. And the answer is, what would we do if things in life had meaning? Because whatever that answer is, that is what we are supposed to be doing. This search for a meaning is an endless, futile search. It is not something out there to be found, and it is not something we need to look for. Welcome to Path to Peace with Todd Perlmutter. I'm your host, Todd Perlmutter. Our world is a projection of our collective consciousness. The more peace we bring into our lives, the more peace we bring into this world. So let the transformation begin. When we are wondering what the purpose and meaning of this whole game of life is, this conscious quest is not the cause of this quest. It is the symptom of an underlying anxiety, an unease that we have. And we feel like if we just had an answer to a question, that our anxiety would disappear. But the truth is, our anxiety is not caused by a lack of meaning. It is caused by our lack of freedom. And I don't mean the freedom like a government gives us. I mean a lack of freedom in the sense of a sense of control over our lives. And when we don't have this freedom, we feel like we are cogs in a machine with no control, with no ability to create an impact on the machine, without a ability to affect our place in this world. And then when we cannot affect our lives in the way that we wish, when we cannot exert this control, this freedom, and we feel stuck, we feel under someone's shoe, we feel like there is a noose around our necks. This is what makes us search for meaning. It is no different than Viktor Frankl's search for meaning when he was in a concentration camp. When we suffer, we don't have to be in a concentration camp. Whatever our suffering is, whatever is the worst, hardest part of our lives, then on our reference scale, that is the worst thing that's ever happened to us. And this kind of situation creates the need for meaning, the need to persevere, to overcome. And so there are two things that we need to do if we find ourselves in this loss of meaning, is to, one, recognize the ways we can create meaning, the ways we can reframe our story to recognize that a force stronger than us is watching over us, that the same source of life that had these fruit-bearing trees come along at the same time as these fruit-eating humans is not just a coincidence. It is here for us. It is part of us. It is one with us. There are no mistakes. There are no bad animals in the wild that are unworthy. And there aren't any in our cities either. Every single living being is imbued with that precious gift of life, with that burst of life force energy to experience this 1 in a billion planets. We aren't just here to survive and reproduce. We are here to thrive and create loving families. And when we imbue every action we take with that sacred responsibility of temporary custodian and guardian of this blue marble we're floating on. And in every smile, in every flower, in every sunrise and sunset is meaning. In every single breath you take, which has that healing power of the ocean. Sounding just like the ocean. We all have that healing, peaceful energy radiating from within us. We all have oceanfront property. Every day of the year, the sun will kiss our faces. And as reminders of their connection to us, how they sustain us, how they are us, then the meaning of that oneness, that source of everything, the embrace of the entire universe, can give our lives the meaning that we were missing when we saw every object as just the word that defined it. Not the infinite past, not the infinite future, not the connection of it to everything around it and everyone else. When we see the sunset and we remember that it is the sunlight bouncing off of our eyeball that gives it beauty, not the sunset itself, then we remember that sacred connection, that relationship between us and everything in the universe. A flower, if not smelled by a being, isn't fragrant. We create the world. We create the meaning. We think that we are half of the experience we have, and that the universe is the other half. And that when something happens, our mental story creates a narrative around what happened, and that between this dance of what happened and our story, there is truth. But the fact of the matter is, we 100% create our reality. If we are in a negative mood, we cannot see the blessings that may be everywhere around us. And if we are in an incredible mood, then we will feel blessed, even if we have very little. The second thing we can all do, if we are feeling like life has lost meaning, and we have already taken that first step of seeing how we can create meaning in life, the second step is to live as the meaning maker. If we realize how we have the responsibility to create the life we want, and that we are able to do so, how would we start living today? And just by asking ourselves that simple question, the answers inevitably arise. We would seek out more sunsets. We would plant flowers and fruit trees. We would not focus on so much the petty squabbles with the people we love, care about, and know. We would build a family, not just by blood and reproduction, but by close relationships. We would share our warmth and our wealth. We would discover that unequal joy and satisfaction that comes from making someone else smile. And we would do anything in our power to plant smiles in as many people as often as possible. Yes, We live and we die. Yes, a meteor could wipe out mankind in 50,000 years. A solar explosion could wipe out humanity in 100 million years. And what if we knew that that was going to happen in 10 years? What would we do? How would we live our lives? Would we fight over resources or share and help each other and love each other with this last decade? And the fact is, that extinction event is happening already, and it is coming for each one of us separately. Everyone alive today will not be here in 120 years. And so what would we do with this precious time? Will we look back and wish we spent more on cigarettes or spent more time on social media, or let some quote-unquote enemy get away with something, or wish we had taken revenge more? Of course not. We would look back and we would know we were wasting our time on anything that didn't make us feel loving and loved and make others feel loved. Every emotion we feel is designed for our evolutionary survival. Anxiety was to make sure we are extra safe. Anger was to make sure that we knew that anger doesn't feel good, that happiness and love feels much better. And so we will work with our friends and relatives and allies, and we will achieve more together than separately. And because love and gratitude and contentment are the greatest feelings we know that we are supposed to follow those instincts, that they are here for a reason, and they are the reason we live, that we're alive. Love alleviates that anxiety. It removes doubt and questions and fear, because love is the answer. And just like in those camps, just like in our lives today, when we imbue the difficult work with love, with the purpose of providing for this world, for ourselves, for our families, to grow in strength, to grow in discipline and determination, and to fulfill our higher calling of spreading love and light to this world, then all of that hard work mentality, that inner complaining, disappears, and it turns into a joy, a challenge, an opportunity to become our best self. Because when we realize our purpose of helping others and how struggle makes us grow in our ability, we welcome every single opportunity for growth. We embrace every challenge, no matter how repetitive, boring, tedious, or unpleasant it is. And then, and only then, when we truly run towards every fire to save every puppy and cat, metaphorically, literally, when we jump at every opportunity because we are excited to grow those muscles of overcoming, those muscles of achievement. Only then can we truly, tirelessly, and with patience and wisdom, go about creating that brighter future for ourselves and our loved ones. Only by embracing the reality of this world do we find the meaning in it. And the reality is that every life is hard work. And if it's not hard work, then we're in trouble because we are spoiled rotten and we're going to have to be our own disciplinarian. And it can be even tougher. If whatever you resist, whatever you hate, whatever is tiresome and cumbersome for you, that is the thing that we mentally escape when we do it, and we also mentally complain while we do it. What that means is we are not actually doing the thing that we are doing. We are mentally someplace else, and we are in autopilot mode, just robotically going through the motions. And how would we ever be able to see the meaning in life if we're always escaping life? And so it is really only by fully embracing what you have to do that you can do it with ease and effortlessness, joy and meaning. When you resist it, you will have tightness, tense muscles, and it will be mentally and physically draining. But when you can truly, with every muscle and fiber of your body, get into what you are doing with total passion, enthusiasm, and commitment, even if you don't want to do it, in fact, especially because you don't want to do it, then you can actually do it well. You can actually do it for as long as it needs to get done. And you will truly have the energy and the strength to do anything you set your mind to, and you can achieve it. And this is how you start creating that world of meaning that we all deserve. Creating that life of freedom. Not just on the outside, not just financially or in an industry you love, but inner freedom. The freedom to direct your mind, to use it as a tool instead of being used by it, to have it stop making you go on these wild journeys to find something that does not exist outside of yourself. It is the freedom to see beyond separateness and disconnected objects, and to instead see that interconnected relationship that unites us all. It is the freedom to engage fully with mind and body in the world around you, in the here and now, where questions cease and unspeakable answers emerge. That knowingness and wisdom beyond words, where confusion ceases, where unhappiness cannot survive, and where there is nothing for anxiety to latch onto. Because ultimately, anxiety is just that grasping mechanism within us. And when that anxiety machine has nothing to grasp onto anymore, because it feels safe, it feels secure, and it feels that it has some agency and control over its own existence. This is how that anxiety machine starves. And all that's left is peace. I know that there can be some very profound suffering when we reach that level of just asking out to the universe Why is this happening? Why am I going through this? What is life for? But you are not alone, even if you feel alone. You are the center of your universe. You are the source of meaning, because you are that source of everything. What you focus on, you bring to life. So instead of looking for meaning and reinforcing that mental, subconscious notion that you are missing it and that you are unable to find it, just look closer at whatever you are looking at. Hear and smell and touch with greater attention. Overfill the universe around you with your conscious light of awareness, and you will be overfilled with meaning. You create it by shining a light on it. It's not something you find. It's something you awaken to. And you do that when you stop looking and start seeing. Much love. Thank you so much for listening. To go deeper into this topic, you can check out my book, Aloneness to Oneness. And if you've already gotten it, be sure to leave a review on Amazon.com, as it helps so many people who are struggling find these helpful teachings and wisdom. Thank you to all of our supporters as well who make this podcast possible. We can't do it without you, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If anyone else would like to and is able to support this podcast, you can go to eastwestism.org and click support. That's eastwesticism.org. Thank you again. You have been listening to Path to Peace with Todd Perlmutter. Being here and putting in this important and noble work is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and others. If you found this podcast even a little helpful, please make sure to leave a review so it can reach others who may be in need. And remember, the path to peace starts with a single step.